Hello everybody, I'm Sarah Janes from Soap School and thank you so much for joining me today for today's Pantry Soap Making session. I think we're going to have a lot of fun today. So if you haven't joined us already for the Pantry Soap Making sessions, this is all about just celebrating soap making in its purity. It's not about selling soap or doing it commercially, it's about utilising ingredients that you have in your home, whether that be in your pantry, in your fridge, or your regular cupboards. And today we've chosen avocado, and avocados are pretty much available anywhere in the world these days, and there's always like half an avocado left over if you're doing a salad or something else. So we're definitely going to be using avocado, and we're also going to be using hemp seeds. Now I don't know if you've seen these before, but these are available just in your regular supermarkets. It's maybe not what you were thinking when you saw hemp seeds. That's a different show. These are hemp seeds that are really full of nutrition, and they're really nice on things like salads. They give a lot of texture and bite, as well as those really lovely nutritional values. We're going to be using them in our soap, and actually when you cut through them you get this lovely pale centre and they're kind of darker ring to them. They look lovely in soap, so that's what we're going to be using. So let me put the recipe up and share that with you. So today, as I said, we're going to do the avocado and hemp soap. Let me just move this out the way, and I've got the full recipe here for you. So we're going to be utilising a solid cooking fat. Now you can buy these from any of your normal cooking stores. In North America it might be called Crisco. In the UK you can buy Trex or Crisp and Dry, any type of solid cooking fat. And we're using 150 grams of coconut oil. We're using 100 grams of olive oil and 50 grams of avocado pureed. It's really important that it is pureed up nice and finely. We don't want big chunks of fresh material because it's not going to work. Imagine sitting something like a banana on a work surface for 6 months. You wouldn't eat it after 6 months. It's going to be absolutely nasty. And it's the same when you're making soap. We only want delicious things in our soap. And then we've got 72 grams of sodium hydroxide, 110 grams of water, about 5 grams, even 10 grams of hemp seeds, depending on how many you want. And I'm going to be adding in 10 grams of rosemary essential oil, but that's totally optional. And it's not something that you have to go with at all. So what I'm going to do now is just move this down a second, and let's start making this delicious soap up. Can't wait to actually share this with you. Okay. Right, so here we have our oils already melted down, and we've got them at about 100 degrees Fahrenheit. And then we also have our avocados, and you can see that the avocados, hang on one second, I'm just going to get Sean to move them down so you can see them a little bit better. So the avocados are really finely pureed, and you can see from that lovely bright green colour that they've only just been done. If avocados are left, as you already know probably, they go quite brown. So they've just literally been pureed. And if you're wondering how I managed to move from being in a blue top to being in khaki trousers, that's because my darling husband is actually going to be the one who's making the soap for us today. So just a little heads up, I didn't suddenly develop hairy arms and larger hands. Or not yet anyway. So in goes the puree. For you. All right, so the first thing we need to do is just puree that up, give it a blitz and mix it into your warm oils before we go any further. like to give avocados a really thorough blitzing. Make sure that you really do get it nice and finely pulped. If in any doubt, just use a sieve and actually puree it down with your stick blender and then sieve it to get a really fine puree if you're in any doubt at all. Next, we're going to be adding our pre-mixed lye solution. This is our sodium hydroxide and our water, and that's being cooled to about 100 to 110 degrees, and that's going to go in next. And then we always give that a really good stir.
Excuse me.
Doesn't that colour look absolutely beautiful? You know, I love using things like avocados. It's amazing what you can actually put into your products. It's just a beautiful, beautiful colour, but it's got all sorts of really good properties. So your avocados are really high in omega-6, they've got great antioxidant properties, and they contain things like vitamin C, vitamin E, vitamin K, and vitamin B. Okay, let's give this a good blitzing. Can you see how that colour intensified and went much darker when we added in the sodium hydroxide? All right, and let's take it up until it starts to thicken to trace. Now I'm using a different stick blender, or Sean is using a different stick blender today, and sometimes most of the time, in fact, we actually just use a really inexpensive one which you can pick up from the local supermarkets. But in this case, we've actually gone for an expensive one. This is a KitchenAid, and we're testing out a whole variety of different ones to see what kind of results we get, and we will give you feedback on all of those. It's actually creating quite a lot of foam on the surface, which is not really what I want, but it won't affect the soap in any way at all. It's still got that beautiful intense colour. Now, just a pointer, when we actually pureed this, we pureed the skin as well as the fruit. And I do that because I really like the kind of dark flecks that it adds into the soap itself. But if you prefer just using the pulp of the fruit, that's fine too. Love to know if you have used avocado at all. Do pop something into the comments. Let me know if you've used fresh avocados before, or whether you've only actually used the oils. So our soap is thickening up beautifully now. We've definitely got to trace. So we're now going to be adding in those really lovely hemp seeds. Just pop that out the way. All right, can you just show them the seeds, honey? There you go. So these are our hemp seeds, and in the pot they go. And we also need a spatula to stir them through, and I always stir them before I add any essential oils. And in go the essential oils. Now, of course, as I mentioned, if you don't want to use essential oils, that's absolutely fine. You don't have to at all. But I like adding essential oils in. If you don't have them, omit them, please. It really doesn't matter. But I thought that the rosemary would be just a lovely scent to go with this. Now, we're not going to be stick blending after we've added in the hemp seeds, but you can. If you do stick blend after you've added them, however, you will chop some of them up. That's not a bad thing, it's just a totally different look. So now it's just a case of moving the mould, there we go, and pouring everything in. Give it one final stir and add everything into our mould. We're not going to do a textured top on this one, we're just going to have it nice and smooth. Yeah, and actually that's so perfectly poured. You think he's done this before a few times, but that's so perfectly poured actually that we don't even need to level that this time with the spatula. So I am going to be definitely sharing this in a couple of days with you. We'll cut it and put the video up for you so we can share how beautiful this comes out. It's going to be a nice green colour. Remember, this is just coloured from that avocado. And I don't know if I can get a close-up. Let me just try, because if I can get a close-up, can you see all those beautiful kind of darker speckles on the surface? And all of those speckles are purely from the skin of the avocado, not just the avocado flesh, but the skin of the avocado too. And remember, avocados have got some really great properties. We said they're higher in omega-6, we've got all those beautiful antioxidants, and we've got a wealth of vitamins in there too. So avocados are a great option for you. And most people buy in avocado oil, which I adore, but if you're just making it at home in your kitchen and it's just for yourself, you don't always want to go to the expense of ordering in it, you know, the avocado oil and all of the shipping, but you can buy avocados locally. So I hope you enjoy this recipe, and I'll just put the recipe back up in case you didn't get a chance to write all of it down. Please do pop something into the comments if you've used avocado or if you've used hemp seeds before. I'd love to hear from you, and if you haven't already subscribed to our channel, please do. We do this Pantry Soap Making show every single Thursday at 2 p.m. and we would love to have you with us again. I will see you soon in another show. Bye bye for now.